Raider Nation, listen up, because I've got 7 huge updates you need to hear about your team, and trust me, the very first one could shake up the entire season. From the offensive line shuffle, to big injury news, to must-win scenarios that could make or break the Raiders, this is the kind of stuff you don't want to miss. Some of these moves are exciting, some are frustrating, but every single one matters. So stay with me till the end, because the last update might just change the way you look at this team. The Las Vegas Raiders are making noise on the offensive line, and it all starts with rookie guard Jackson Powers Johnson. Head coach Pete Carroll hinted this week that JPJ is going to see action, and not just in garbage time, he's expected to rotate in with veteran Alex Cappa. That means all eyes are now on Dylan Parham, the current starter who could be in danger of losing snaps. Parham has had an up-and-down start to the season, struggling against stronger interior linemen, and the coaching staff is clearly looking for stability inside. This is where the possible Cappa plus JPJ combo comes into play. Cappa brings experience and leadership, while JPJ adds raw power and fresh energy. Together, they could finally give the Raiders' offensive line the boost it desperately needs. For weeks, the line has been inconsistent, sometimes holding up well, other times collapsing right when the offense needed momentum. And Raider Nation, before we dive deeper into this story, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps grow our community and keeps these updates coming your way. Now, back to the trenches, because make no mistake, this O-line decision is more than just depth. It's about protecting Geno Smith, opening lanes for the run game, and finally giving the offense a chance to click. If JPJ proves himself in rotation, it might only be a matter of time before he's locked in as the starter. The Raiders' season could hinge on how quickly this offensive line finds its rhythm, and that starts right here. The Raiders' defense has quietly been the most reliable part of this team early in the season, and it's time they get the credit they deserve. Week after week, while the offense has struggled to find rhythm, the defense has stepped up and kept games within reach. A huge part of that has been the secondary. Cornerbacks Jack Jones and Marcus Peters have been locking down receivers, showing confidence and discipline in coverage. Jones has been sticky in man-to-man, while Peters has brought his veteran instincts, jumping routes and closing windows that quarterbacks thought were open. Together, they've given the Raiders stability on the back end that fans have been begging for. And here's where it gets even more interesting, because the Chicago Bears are coming in short-handed. They're missing some key offensive weapons, and that could play right into the hands of this Raiders defense. Without a full arsenal, the Bears' young quarterback is going to have fewer options, which means longer reads, more hesitation, and more chances for the Raiders' pass rush to get home. This is the type of matchup where the defense could completely take over. But for that to happen, the Raiders' offense needs to hold up their end. Too often this season, we've seen the defense play well for long stretches, only to get worn down late because the offense can't sustain drives. Field position flips, time of possession tilts, and eventually, even a strong defense cracks under the pressure. The formula is simple: if the offense can give them even average support, this defense has the potential to dominate the Bears. It's a winnable matchup, and one that could swing momentum for the entire season. When you look at the Chicago Bears this season, their biggest problem has been one word: inconsistency. On paper, they've got talent, but on the field, it hasn't come together. And that's something the Raiders must be ready to exploit. At quarterback, pressure has been the Bears' kryptonite. The moment defenders collapse the pocket, mistakes start piling up. We've already seen inaccurate throws, missed reads, and forced plays that turn into costly turnovers. The Raiders' defensive line has to smell blood here, get after the quarterback, collapse the pocket, and make him uncomfortable from the first snap. The Bears' run game hasn't helped much either. Their running back rotation is still unsettled, with different guys rotating in but no true workhorse carrying the load. Without consistency in the backfield, the offense has struggled to find balance. For a team already shaky in pass protection, not having a reliable ground game makes them one-dimensional, and that's a dangerous spot against an aggressive Raiders defense. On top of that, injuries have killed their rhythm. Key offensive players have been in and out of the lineup, making it hard for the quarterback to build timing with his weapons. Offensive lines hate change, receivers need chemistry, and without stability, the Bears simply haven't clicked. This is exactly where the Raiders need to pounce. Defensive coordinator Patrick Graham can throw different looks, mix in blitzes, and lean on his corners to keep coverage tight. If the front four applies steady pressure while the secondary locks down passing lanes, the Bears will have no answers. The formula is clear: exploit the Bears' weaknesses, create turnovers, and flip the game in your favor. If the Raiders execute, Chicago's offense could be in for a very long day. Heading into this matchup, the Las Vegas Raiders actually have a few clear advantages that could swing the game in their favor. For one, the Raiders are simply healthier than the Chicago Bears right now, and that matters a lot in the trenches. Chicago's defense is missing some serious firepower. Grady Jarrett, their interior anchor, is out. T.J. Edwards, one of their most dependable linebackers, won't be on the field either. Those are two big losses, and the ripple effect weakens the Bears' entire front seven. What does that mean for the Raiders? Opportunity. The Bears will now have to lean on Andrew Billings, rookie Gervon Dexter, and a rotation of unproven players like Shamar Turner and undrafted free agent Chris Williams. That's not the same as going up against a unit led by Jarrett and Edwards. On paper, this is a lighter, less experienced group, and that's where the Raiders can go to work. The path is simple: pound the football on the ground. With Jackson Powers-Johnson expected to rotate in and Alex Kappa settling the interior line, Las Vegas has a chance to create running lanes and keep the offense balanced. Establishing the run will not only take pressure off Geno Smith but also force Chicago to stack the box with those weakened defenders, which opens up play-action opportunities. This is a rare chance for the Raiders to dictate the game physically. When you're healthier, when the opponent's defensive front is short-handed, and when you've got the linemen to take advantage of it, the smart move is to lean on the ground attack. If the Raiders commit to running the football, they can control the tempo, wear down the Bears' front, and put themselves in the driver's seat to win this matchup. If there's one thing holding the Raiders back right now, it's not the defense. It's not special teams. The biggest problem this team faces is crystal clear: the offense just isn't getting it done. Through the first 3 weeks, the Raiders have had chances to win games, but the offense hasn't capitalized. Against the Chargers, the defense limited them to just 20 points, that should have been enough for a victory. But if your offense can't outscore a team that only puts up 20, then you've got no business winning in this league. It's the same story across the board. Too many 3-and-outs. Too many stalled drives. Not enough points when the opportunities are right there. And while the defense and special teams have stepped up, making big plays and keeping the Raiders in games, the offense continues to sputter. Early on, there were excuses. New quarterback. New scheme. A shuffled offensive line. New weapons needing time to gel. But those excuses might fly in week 1 or week 2. We're now entering week 4, and it's time to face the truth: this unit has to click, right now. The frustrating part is the talent is there. Between Josh Jacobs in the backfield, Devontae Adams and Jakobi Meyers on the outside, and upgrades along the offensive line, this group should not be struggling the way it has. What the Raiders need is execution, sustaining drives, finishing red zone chances, and keeping the pressure off their defense. If the offense doesn't start pulling its weight, it won't matter how well the defense plays. Games will keep slipping away. But if the offense can finally flip the switch, this Raiders team can quickly change its trajectory. This is the moment. It has to happen now. For the Raiders, the matchup against the Bears boils down to a few simple keys to victory, and it all starts with the run game. If the offensive line can open lanes, Josh Jacobs and the backs will set the tone early. Running the football not only keeps the defense honest, but it also prevents the Raiders from falling into the trap that has killed drives all season: third-and-long situations. That's where Chicago thrives. The Bears are one of the best defenses in the NFL when it comes to stopping opponents on 3rd-and-7 or longer. They collapse the pocket with power rushers like Montez Sweat and Odingbo, and they make it nearly impossible for quarterbacks to stay comfortable. The Raiders simply cannot afford to live in that situation. So how do they avoid it? First, by sticking to what works. The numbers don't lie: when the Raiders line up in 2-by-2 sets, they've been the worst offense in the league. But when they go 3-by-1, they've been far more effective. Trips formations spread defenses thin and create favorable matchups. If that's where the success is coming from, the Raiders have to lean on it. Once the run game is established and the formation is right, that's when the Raiders can strike deep. This offense has explosive weapons, Davante Adams, Jakobi Meyers, Trey Tucker, and they've already proven capable of generating big plays downfield. The Bears' defense, for all its strength against long third downs, has struggled badly against explosive passing plays. Put it all together, and the formula is clear: pound the rock, stay out of third and longs, stick with the formations that work, and then hit Chicago over the top. Do that, and the Raiders should walk away with a win. Make no mistake about it, this game against the Bears is more than just another matchup on the schedule. It's a season-defining moment for the Las Vegas Raiders. If the Raiders drop to 1-3, the season is dangerously close to being lost. History shows that teams starting in that hole rarely recover, and the collapse can come quickly. Just look at the Saints last year. They started slow, players lost belief, and by week 3 their defense already looked checked out. That's the risk when a team falls behind early, the buy-in disappears, and the season spirals. But flip it around, and the picture looks entirely different. A win here moves the Raiders to 2-2, and beating the Bears could be the spark that pushes them to 3-2 if they can take care of business against the Colts next. Imagine walking into the Chiefs game with that kind of momentum, the energy, the confidence, and the belief inside that locker room would be at a whole new level. That's why this is the biggest game of the season so far. It's not just about standings, it's about sending a message: the Raiders aren't out of it, not by a long shot. The defense has shown flashes, the offense has the weapons, and the opportunity is sitting right in front of them. But opportunities don't last forever. You either take advantage now, or you watch the season slip away. For the Raiders, it's simple: win this game, and the season stays alive. Lose it, and the road back gets almost impossible. This is the line in the sand. The Raiders have to prove they belong, and it all starts with this game against Chicago.